Yo, yo, yo. Hopefully I can get you guys in my little earbud here and you can hear me real clear. So check this out, man. A few minutes ago I made a video about fear, talking about like do the thing you fear until the death of fear is certain, and really the negative aspects of fear. But you know, one of the things that myself included, we all, what I've seen done a lot in society is like the vilification of anything, like the demonization of something, like this is bad, don't do this, that is bad, guns are bad. Like there's an alchemy to everything. Like I believe what makes a gun bad is the person using it. Like fear is bad. Like fear isn't necessarily bad. Fear is good or bad based on what you believe about it and what you do with it. There's an alchemy of fear. Like you can actually transmute fear into being one of the most and best and most effective motivating factors. One of the best and most motivating factors in your life, man. So should you choose to, like, you can literally be like there's a principle Sun Tzu talks about, which is called death ground, where literally you going ahead and you put your troops in a position where there's no way out, there's no back door. They either fight or die. What's tattooed on my shoulders? What's tattooed on my shoulders? And you'll see it in some of my pictures. Ad Vincere Mori. It means basically either conquer or die, right? That's what Julius Caesar used to say to his troops before sending them out to conquer the entire world. So with all of that having been said, fear isn't necessarily all bad. It can also be one of the most most powerful motivating and driving forces in your life if you use it correctly. So it's not always like a matter of like, are you afraid? Face your fears. The thing you're fearing, it depends on the type of fear you're dealing with. It depends on the way you're dealing with the type of fear you're dealing with. And only you know what's appropriate to your situation. Like I said before, what I do here is I open up the armory of the thought gear and the weapons I use to move through my world and through, you know, when I coach with people in the world, in the real world, and the way I help people deal with their issues. But realistically, there's no right or wrong way, and only you are going to be able to find out what works for you. The truth about fear is it's not necessarily bad. What's bad is the way you deal with it. The difference, you know, the self-belief isn't necessarily good or bad. It can be arrogance, or it can be confidence. You know what I mean? It all depends on how accurate you are. It all depends on how you deal with it. You're what makes fear good, or you're what makes fear bad. You know what I mean? If you put an enemy in a position where he's got to fight for his life, he's going to fight a lot harder. If you're going to work every day and you're doing everything you're doing because you're thinking about your loved ones and you fear what could happen to them if you aren't providing and you're not doing the right things, now you've just transmuted fear from a negative to a positive. You know what I mean? So fear is like anything else. It's a tool. Fear isn't good or bad. What is good or bad? You know what I mean? It's the way you deal with it, and it's what you choose to do with it. If you're fearing something and you're realizing that the fear has you, that's when it becomes bad. You want to have the fear. The fear needs to be a tool in your hands, not the other way around. If you're in the clutches of fear, if the fear is controlling your actions, then you're doing it wrong. You see what I'm saying? So if you've got the fear and you're like, all right, it's time to turn on the fear, like, we're going into combat, I'm going to use fear to heighten my sense of awareness, to heighten my sense of resilience and ability to fight. I'm going to allow myself to be afraid, to realize that like in everyday life, as I go after what I want in life, like I use fear. Hey, extinction is the default. Like success in life is not just like when we watch these movies and you see the good guys like, it's gonna be okay, man. It's like, how do you know it's gonna be okay, man? Like, no, you need to work, and seed time and harvest is real. You need to plant a seed, and then you need to water it every single day. And then you know what you need to do? Keep staring at the little spot in the ground where you planted that seed, where there's nothing happening, nothing at all, and you need to keep watering it every single day. And you're like, I know I planted a seed in here, and then you need to keep watering it, and keep watering it, and keep watering it, and keep watering it, and keep watering it, until eventually, boom, something starts coming out of the ground, but you got to keep watering it, right? And you've got to fight all the thought battles and all the battles in the meantime in order to be able to continue taking care of that seed, that thing that God sent you to this planet to deliver to the world, your passion, your gift, your own individual spark of creativity, power, passion, right? So fear in and of itself isn't bad. The way you deal with fear is what's good or bad. So the last video, I talked about like picturing the thing you fear and driving it all the way to the hilt and being like, and then what? You know, like you lose the business, you lose the relationship, people make fun of you, you know, and then what, right? Because what it does is it causes you to face that fear and realize you're more than your fears. Your worst fears can come true and you will overcome. And at the end of the day, it's going to be you and God. You're going to be perfectly fine because you're so much more than the things you fear. And on the flip side of that, depending on what it is you're fearing and depending on the appropriate orientation to that thing in your life, really, right? What life is asking of you, what God or your situation that he's put you in or whatever's going on in your life, whatever it's asking of you, you know, maybe it's wiser for you personally to take the thing you fear and to be like, no, I'm on death ground right now. My back's up against a wall right now. I have no choice right now. It's extinction or evolution. That's it. Boom. And you gotta fight, and you gotta fight. And either way you look at it, you know what you gotta do. If you want to evolve, if you want to transcend yourself and go to the next level, you know what you gotta do. You gotta smell your situation. You gotta see it. You gotta taste it. You gotta touch it. You gotta be in it 100%. And then you gotta look at who you are right now. And you got to be willing to fight and die on that ground or succeed. And then, remember I said yesterday, the caterpillar has to die. Boom, that's what's got to take place. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's a privilege, and it's an opportunity. So that's the way I deal with fear, man. You can use it as something to motivate you. You can use it as something to drive you, because all emotions is emotional energy. It's energy to drive your actions, to do things you want to do in life, gain power, etc. You can use your fear to drive you, or if your fear's got you, you need to do the reversal, the fearless approach. Take your fear, look it in the eye, do the thing you fear until the death of fear is certain. Take it to the hilt and be like, okay, so this worst thing, most terriblest thing happens, and then what? And then what? Seriously, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be terrible. It really is. It probably is. And then what? I mean, if you die, if you die, you're getting off easy in some cases. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I always used to look at it. Like, then you really don't have anything to worry about. It doesn't matter, you know. But face your fear. Put it in a position where you take the power out of it. You take the emotional energy out of it. If your fear has you, take the emotional power out of it by facing it head on. And then take a look at your whole entire situation. Transcend it. Imagine that you're a phoenix rising out of the fire. Imagine that your fear, whatever it is, has you cornered. Boom, jump up above your situation and look down on it at a bird's eye view to learn two things. What you need to learn from this situation so it never repeats itself ever again. And then while you're up there and you're looking at it with a bird's eye view, what the best outcome is that you want and what you need to do in order to get that. One step at a time. Okay? Boom, that's what I got for you guys today. Had to go ahead and touch back on that. I feel like my last video was just too kind of like linear in one direction. What's going on? Good morning, Joe. What's up, What's up? Nathan, good to see you. Brian, good to see you guys. Ozan, good to see you. That's what I got for you guys today, man. If you know anyone who could appreciate this video, tag them, share it, subscribe, and let's make the most of this day. Let's do the best we can with what we have. Thank you. I'm out.